Okay guys, here I've gone and made a retrofit kit for the torpedo on the Swordfish. I want to show you how I put it together real quick in case you're interested. It's going to change the way the torpedo, the fins on the back of the one that the way it came is just not scale. It just doesn't look appropriate. Anyway, what I've done is I've taken a picture off of the there's a picture on the internet of the actual airplane. It had a torpedo and it had the fins and with the shroud and the propellers and everything. So what I've done is I've put a kit together. What I want to show you real quick is before I go any further is that what I have done to make this work is I've taken the torpedo and I've cut off the fins. I've then sanded that area flush all the way around. It's not quite, they may not quite be square, but that's okay. But anyway, to make the fin set, or the new one, fit on there, what I have done is I've come in here and the actual torpedo sticks out the rear of it just a tad. What I did is I marked that and I'm going to cut that off. This has a piece of wood that comes all the way up in here. So I just want to let you know that I'm removing the end so this will slide in, and I'm actually adding the shroud and propellers to the back of this thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go get the kit together. I'm going to go ahead and cut this off, and then I will cover how to put this together and install it. Okay, here we are. I have all the parts ready to go to put this together. When we get through, it's going to look like kind of like this. You're going to have 4 fins, and then it's going to have the shroud over it, and then we have the propellers inside. But to make it, what you're going to do is get a piece like this, and what you need to do is come on the inside and take a real small sharp pair of scissors and cut just to the inside on all this. You're just going to take the flange off and leave the straight, or leave it where it's just flat all the way around. Now you're going to have 2 of these, and you're going to take and cut both of them the same way. Alright, I use the, for ABS here, I use the Model Masters glue or the Testors glue, and I found out the Testors, because you can get a bigger bead on there, works better. But anyway, what we're going to do is once we get 2 of these cut out, we're going to take them, and now you need to remove, I made this longer, but you can also go ahead and cut this to where it's curved all the way around in front of these fins. Okay, so we're going to take all that off. But anyway, we're going to glue the fins together. So when you get through, you can see that these 2 are glued together, and that gives me makes it nice and rigid. And you can see that even if they're off a little bit, you want to make sure the insides match up. And then once you get through, you can trim any excess over. Alright, once you get this piece glued, you need to, I took some pieces of plywood and put a piece on each side and put some clamps on it until it dried. Okay, then you're going to have 4 of these, and you're going to take them and cut them out until there's no flashing on them. And then you're going to take those and you're going to glue those together. So you should end up with 4 pieces cut out, and then you're going to glue those pieces together. Alright, and it may look a little bit rough, but we'll clean them up later. Anyway, you glue those together and set them aside to dry. Now it's best, this glue dries pretty quick, but just to be on the safe side, I give you 3 or 4 hours to dry, or overnight if you can. Alright, next we're going to move to making the shroud while that sets up. What I've done is I've pulled a piece, it's 1 inch thick, and what we're going to do to make the shroud, now on the first one, you can see a line here. I only made mine 3/4 of an inch, it needed to be 1 inch thick, so I made what I had work. But for you, is what you're going to have is some O2O styrene. Now what you're going to do, now it's going to be a lot longer than this circle, but you take and put it inside and let it overlap, and you will get as tight as you can in there, and you're going to draw a line. And that line, you can see I drew it on here, and I actually cut to the outside of it. And what I'm trying to do is get this inside this circle as tight as I can, and you want to push it back, and you want to get the ends where they butt up against each other. and that's what we're going for. And we're going to push it all the way down into the circle and get the ends to butt up with each other. Now, once we get this fitted, we're going to come back and put glue on that and glue it to the inside of that ring. But now we're going to do it twice. Once you get that in there, now you don't want to go over the same joint, so we'll make the joint on the opposite side. Let's get this one. I've already cut it, and slide it in place. And we're going to glue it too, and pull it to the ends. It's tight, but you want to pull it until the ends touch, so it's nice. And what we're doing is just making this ring nice and thick. Now you can cut this off pretty close here and come in here and all the way around it, put some clamps to hold that. You want to glue it using your tester's glue. Glue that up and try to, like I said, get it tight as you can to make it look nice, and let that set up 2 or 3 hours or overnight. All right. Once you have it, once it's all set up and glued, now you can come in here and just cut this out and then trim it until you have a ring.